What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, and as usual, I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. Today, we got to talk about the NBA updates because we had the conference finals. But before we do that, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, comment, tell anyone about the show. Try and get the ratings up a little bit, just a little bit. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about the NBA playoff updates, conference finals specifically. We here, you know what I mean? We got a few things to talk about, all right? It is a lot of entertainment. But before we talk about the conference finals, I'm going to just bring up this little key nugget because we're going to talk more about the conference finals than the second round. Reason why, every single round was plagued by injuries, okay? The Cavs Pacers, that started off injury prone with DG, and then Donovan Mitchell got injured. Then you got the Knicks Celtics. Jason Tatum was injured. Oh, my gosh, it hurt as a Duke fan. I got my Duke shorts on right now, ladies and gentlemen. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? Then we got the Wolves, Warriors. Steph, he got injured. I'm hurt because they was making a nice little run. I thought they would have made a nice little championship contender. Stuff happens. And then finally, the Thunder. Aaron Gordon injured. He still played like a champ, though. Hey, bro. Tip of the cap to you, man. Like that's what champions do. Hence why he's a champion. Just not this year, though. But again, second round. And that's no shade, too. That is not shade either. Love that brother. He's a good man because he played in Game 7 with a grade 2 hamstring. Can't scoff on that. But unfortunately, they're not in the playoffs anymore. And we do have these 4 teams, the Pacers, the Thunder, the Wolves, and the Knicks. So with new faces, right? Who's going to get their first championship? That's an interesting one. I might not want to give my answer too early, partly because I don't know. That could go, but we could go a few ways. Storylines, whether you're talking about talent, there's a lot. But let's talk about here. Let's break them down, Eastern, Western, because we got two different conferences, right? 2 different conferences. So we're going to start off with the East. Here's my thing, ladies and gentlemen. Knicks, Pacers. I think it's fair to say they're complete-ish teams, okay? The Pacers have been lucky and fortunate to battle injury-prone teams for the last 2 seasons. But guess what? You got to play who you play. It's, so we're here now. But they've been doing what they're supposed to do. So do they rise to the challenge against a Knicks team, which history does bode well for the Pacers, I believe. So again, I do think the Pacers can win. But if I got to be honest with y'all, and I hate to say it, but the Knicks they might be my favorites because Jalen Brunson has been playing well, plus he's a good leader. Then they have the talent, but also Karl Anthony Towns, ladies and gentlemen. He's been playing at an all-NBA level this year. And then in the playoffs, he had a little slippage moment, but like overall, I think he's doing well. And he's surprising me because generally I wanted him at that power forward spot. I thought he could play the center position. Thought he was best served as the power forward. And they have players like Mitchell Robinson to help him out in spurts. But again, Cat seems to be handling the fort. Can a Myles Turner slow down Karl Anthony Towns? That is the question. Because at least versus the Celtics, KP was injured. Jason Tatum eventually was injured. And you had the height matchup the majority of the time. So now let's see what you do against Myles Turner, who's around the same height, similar stocky build. You also got a Pascal Siakam who they can throw his length at you now. Cool, he's 6'10", 6'11". Let's see what happens. But I do, for whatever reason, want to lean the Knicks. It's so disgusting to say. I can see the Pacers winning, and I want to see what happens in Game 1. That might make me change my answer. But it just seemed like the Knicks about to win this one. And it's because of expectations. It's because of experience. I do lean that. But again, talent-wise, the depth, it does lean Indiana. The coaching, now that's a question mark. We'll have to see. Because you might lean, you can lean either. I'm not the biggest Tibbs fan. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to hem and haw too much on this Pacers-Knicks series. Because, again, there's a lot of other storylines to follow, right? Like, Mikal Bridges, does he come back to form? OG Anunoby, can he start snapping? Like, is there somebody on the Pacers who can ball outside of the big three that they have, which is Tyrese Halliburton, Myles Turner, Pascal Siakam. So that's enough about that series, ladies and gentlemen. Because again, like I said, one player or one team is going to have a chance to go into the finals for the first time in quite some time. So let's move on to another team that's going to be in a similar situation. It's conference, which is the Wolves and Thunder, ladies and gentlemen. This one I'm looking forward to because I said earlier in the year, the NBA is trying to pit together Anthony Edwards and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as one of the best guard rivalries in the current NBA. And the reason why I said that was because they ended up playing 3 out of 4 times relatively recently before the end of the season. And the reason why I said that, because other teams did that, but this one was key because of the timing of it, ladies and gentlemen. It's the timing of it going into playoffs. I thought that was wonderful to note. Thought that was wonderful to watch. And I commend the NBA for doing such a thing. Again, these are 2 dynamic guards. They're leading their teams in dynamic fashion, and we should be talking about them for the next couple of years. So because of that, it's nice that we get to see them in the Western Conference Finals. It just sucks that there were injuries along the way that might have derailed this storyline just a little bit. I did think it might have been a little premature, but you know what, though? We're here now. And one of these 2 boys could win their first title and start to run amok in the league. Who would have thought Anthony Edwards could win a championship this year? I'm not going to lie to y'all. I thought it was a little premature. And again, you don't have just Anthony Edwards, too, for this Wolves team. You have a Julius Randle who's hungry. You have a Rudy Gobert who's, I hope, hungry. They have a good team with solid experience. Mike Conley's been around, and he's also a valuable leader, too. Let's not forget that. So in that Wolves team, they could go the distance. On the Thunder squad, though, they got the talent. They got the MVP, I believe, in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You have some wonderful talent around you with youth and experience and guys who just understand their roles. That's similarly to the Wolves, except they might have a little bit more talent on the Thunder side mixed with youth. So because of that, I do have some question marks about the Thunder. But because of who they're going up against, it makes it a tough scenario. I do lean the Wolves, though. I do lean the Wolves, and that sucks to say. I'm not going to lie to y'all. But again, I want to wait and see what happens after game 1, 2, though. Maybe I might want to change my pickup right quick. But I do feel the Wolves might be able to get over that hump this year. They do have the talent to combat the Thunder. And I did see some chinks in the armor for the Thunder, even though they battled against the Nuggets pretty well. Keep in mind, too, they win a game 7 versus the Nuggets. So does that factor in, too? Did the Wolves get too much rest, beating the brakes off the Warriors, dog walking the Warriors? Did they get too much rest? That's what I want to see. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I favor the Wolves, but give me to after game 1. Maybe let's see what happens. But that's my expectations right now because I do feel the Thunder are slightly too young, still just a slightly too young. But overall, though, these are going to be a wonderful playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. And again, we got to state the playoffs thus far, while entertaining, we did have some notable injuries, and that does make me question for next season how some things going to shake out. But it's making for a wonderful playoffs the rest of the way, plus a wonderful transition on into the offseason. So, ladies and gentlemen, that does about conclude the episode. But I am curious, who do y'all have winning the conference finals? Because it's a couple teams that could actually win. Y'all heard my answers, though. But again, give me till game 1. Maybe we can revisit this. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, that does conclude the end of the episode. So thank you all for listening. Please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone about the show. My name is Trey. I'm the host of Get a Bucket. I hope you all are having a good one. Oops, my bad. Wait for it. Take care.